so good. Them and the Eagles.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts
I think
is something.
Eagles run away this weekend.
You think so?
Yeah.
Who are they playing? Who are they playing?
Dallas.
Dallas. If anyone can do it, Dallas will.
Definitely could do it. Bunch of Broncos there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lawrence had a touchdown last week
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
That's what.
Well, that whole conference.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit, not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tony Villanueva Field at Husky Stadium in Emmett, Idaho, where tonight the Huskies of Emmett and the Falcons of Vallivue will determine which team will be hosting a tournament playoff game in 2 weeks and which team will be on the road. That's right, it's playoff time just a little bit early here in the Emmett Valley. As the sun sets over the Malheur Mountains over to the eastern, western side of us in eastern Oregon, we're ready for football. The shadows are pretty much taken over the field. We now know we're late in October in Idaho, which means it's nearly playoff time. Chandler, this should be a great ball game as these two teams have both tasted what it takes to take on the #1 ranked team in the state in Bishop Kelly. They don't like that flavor, and they're going to take it out on each other tonight.
Well, and Bishop Kelly looks like an absolute monster. They're the only undefeated team in the 4A conference this year in Idaho, and they have just been unstoppable. Emmett, as you said, went there last week to Bishop Kelly and had a heartbreaking loss there at Bishop Kelly, and Vallivue lost a couple weeks before that to them as well. As you said, exactly right. Tonight determines who gets the automatic berth to the home seed to the playoffs. Both these teams are going to make the playoffs. It's at this point, that's a moot point. But to determine who gets the home field advantage for the first round, this game will decide that. Emmett does have a game next week against Ridgeview, but that's not going to take any effect on that whatsoever.
It won't. And we understand Vallivue is going to be playing a pickup game next week against either Boise or Cuna, whoever does not get into the playoffs in the 5A ranks here in the Treasure Valley, so that they'll still get another game in. They've only had, this will only be their 8th game as well, so they're going to be a game short, and they want to pick up that extra. Emmett comes in here with a 5-2 season record. They're 2-1 in conference. Vallivue is 3-1 in conference, 4-3 overall. So this is their last conference game. It's a little strange with the changeover in the 4A SIC this year, where we're actually down to only 5 teams competing for those playoff spots. 6, as Caldwell has stepped aside. Now, Vallivue dismantled Caldwell last week in what counted as a non-conference game. And, in fact, Vallivue has put a lot of points up on a lot of people, sometimes even losing efforts. They're averaging nearly 50 points a game. They were over 50 in each of their last 2. For the Huskies, they were rolling along offensively till last week against Bishop Kelly. They scored a season-high 19 points against the Knights, but that wasn't enough in the 43-19 loss. So Valley View's going to kick this one off, and the Huskies are going to get the first opportunity to see what they can do offensively here tonight. Picked up in the backfield, that's Bremer. Brennan will bring it up about 7-8 yards from about the 22 to about the 31-yard line. So Isaac Brennan, a little hard handle, getting hard handle on that football, but got it up. And better than taking it at the 20.
Very much so. And it's almost that baseball grab where you have to pull up the ball that's rolling on the ground. So he did a great job getting his body behind it and picked up the ball there. But definitely not the easiest kickoff reception to return. The Huskies will start the ball on their own 31.
Perry with the handoff, go right ahead to Fullerton. He's going to get about 5, maybe, well, we'll call it 4 yards. They're going to stop him right at the 35-yard line. Fullerton averaging right at 138 yards a football game, and he does it just about every night, in and out. I think his longest run of the season is about 22 yards, but he just ranks up 5-6 yards, patiently picking his way through, and he picked up 4 on that for a second down at their own 35. Receiver split to the bottom of your screen. Now we're going to have a whistle, and that normally goes against the offense, I would think, unless we had someone
that's going to be a delay of game call, so they're going to take it back 5 yards and repeat the down. So it'll be 2nd and 11 from the 30.
The Huskies feel they need to get a good start here tonight. Some of their swagger kind of got embarrassed last week at Bishop Kelly. Not that it should, because they were playing a great team, but they went in there with some swagger and didn't come home with it. They've got to rediscover that tonight, and right now the Valley View defensive line is the one that's discovering the swagger as they swarm Fullerton all the way back to the 25-yard line. They're going to give the forward progress after the 28, so it'll be 3rd down and 12 coming up for Emmett.
Surprisingly enough, this Valley View team is actually a running team. Though they have been putting up huge points these last few weeks, they are a running team. So tonight, my eye is really going to be on the run game. Which one of this backfields is really going to take the win here?
Perry's going to come out of the flat, firing the football, and it goes right through the hands of his intended receiver, Daniel Walker, nearly picked off by number 33, Siggy Rodriguez. And it'll be a 3-and-out for the Huskies, not the way they want to start. Of course, they don't ever like to be the one that's taking the football to start the ball game. They like that option to start the second half. So they already lost the coin toss, and now they've not gotten what they needed to in this first possession.
Quick 3-and-out for the Huskies.
Scheibe steps into the punt, gets a nice spiral, taking it about the 34-yard line there by Austin Belknap, the corner. And Belknap will get it into Emmett territory, it appears. They're walking it up. Will it be in or out? It is the 49-yard line of Emmett, so good field position. This was the problem against Bishop Kelly last week. The Huskies and Knights exchanged touchdowns in their opening possessions. And then for the rest of the second quarter particularly, Emmett was about midfield, and that was as far as they could get, and Bishop Kelly kept taking over the possession at midfield and going in and scoring 3 times, and Emmett unable to counter that in the second half. So quarterback, just a sophomore, Isaac Moore, number 11, a 6'3", 165-pounder. He's going to hand it off. No, he's going to roll out. He's looking downfield. He's going to fire it deep, and it's going to be well overthrown. Stretching out and trying to get to that is number 10, Tyson Fox. He is the all-everything running back, wide receiver, whatever they want to pull out of the Swiss Army knife for the Falcons. Averaging nearly 180 yards a game rushing, I believe. One of the leading scorers in the conference. And this is what we were wondering. Valley View does not have a lot of passing yards on the season, but Emmett has shown themselves to be a little bit susceptible, particularly to the short curl patterns on the sidelines. That one, though, was downfield. Racing around the corner is Mayo. He's going to be stopped about the 45-yard line and driven back. That is K.O. Mayo, a 5'11", 211-pound senior running back. He would be kind of the Don Nottingham bowling ball style attack with Tyson Fox, the speedster, in the backfield for the Falcons.
Definitely the punch to Fox's speed. So a great 1-2 punch that the Falcons have here. And one thing I want to go back and talk about real quick is something you mentioned. Last week at BK, what was really killing the Emmett Huskies was those quick little curl routes right in the flats. That's something that they're looking to stop tonight.
Well, rolling out and firing downfield, and the ball is tipped off the hands of Fox, trying to dive for it and come up with it. Was number 5, Calvin Conklin. He will not get there. So the Falcons return the favor, go 3 and out, but they're in Husky territory. They going to go for it here, or are they going to punt this one away and rely on their defense? Defense has not been a stellar point for the Falcons this year, but it has gotten better as the season's progressed and they've gotten healthier.
In fact, one thing we talked about before this game started was that we were pretty sure this was going to be one of those high-scoring, battle-it-out type games, and usually when that happens.
Line drive to Brennan, taken at the 20, and he has to come completely across the field to pick up about a dozen yards. They're going to mark him at about the 33, it appears, and so the Huskies actually improved their field position on the exchange of punts. That was a dangerous one because it was a line drive, and if there'd been ever an opportunity to put a picket line together for some blocking on Brennan, that could have been a big factor, but it was not, and the Huskies will take over at their own 33. We're just 2.5 minutes into this one. No score at Emmett High School between Vallivue and Emmett. High snap, but it's taken down by Perry. Handoff late to Fullerton, breaks the tackle. He's going to get 10 yards. So often that is the case with Fullerton, hitting the backfield, doesn't go down, then just keeps his feet under him and gets forward for an 11-yard gain all the way to the 44-yard line, and our first down of this football game.
Something we talked about a lot with Rye is that he's one of those patient runners. He likes to wait and let the play develop in front of him, and he does that so well. And a perfect example of that on this last play.
2 receivers split to the top of your screen. Perry's going to fire out to one of them, wide out there, and that is Brennan. Brennan's going to get big yardage as he crosses the 50 down to the 40-yard line, and he was wide open. They just had 2 receivers out. The defenders went with, I believe that was with Howe, who was on the fly down the sideline. Brennan just sat there in the pocket, waited for the catch, and had lots of green room before contact was made. 1st and 10, Huskies at the Falcon 40-yard line.
Well, I may have spoken too soon declaring this a defensive battle because right now the offense is starting to click. Pass from Perry out to number 14,
Walker.
That's Walker.
Daniel Walker's going to get 6 yards on the pickup on the quick outlet. Bishop Kelly did a tremendous job last week. The Huskies scored early on a nice strike over the middle to Howe, but they double-teamed him the rest of the night and really kept the Huskies to a very short passing game, and they do like to take some strikes down the field. Hand off to Fullerton. Breaks the tackle. He's going to get close, but just shy of first down yardage. Official on the near side makes it look like the 32. On the far side, he's going to be a little bit tighter in, but they're going to place it at the 32. It'll be 3rd down and a long 1, short 2 coming up for the Huskies. They are in Falcon territory. 8 minutes and the clock is running here in the first quarter.
2 wideouts to the bottom of your screen. That's Joe Loomis and number 18, Stevie Howe.
They're split down. They're going to hand it right ahead, of course, to Rye Fullerton, and he's going to get the first down yardage down to the 28-yard line. When you see Loomis and Howe split to the side, look for one to go deep and one to cross, and that gives Perry the option then, depending on where the defense goes. Perry under center this time, hands it off again to Fullerton. He's straight ahead, down inside the 25. He keeps driving. They're going to blow the play dead at about the 24. He actually got another 3 or 4 yards, but he didn't get it ignited before the whistle started blowing.
Fullerton was met in the about 5 yards deep down the field by the linebackers. He got 2 of them on him, so there was no way of getting any farther, but got to give it to the line there, making a big hole right up the middle for him.
2nd down and 6 coming up for the Huskies. Brennan in the slot. He's going to try to go after this one, and the ball is going to be taken by, it's Howe again over the middle for the touchdown. How many times this year does it look like the defender's going to get it, and Stevie Howe takes it away?
Stevie Howe with the magnetic hands. He always is able to do that. He's done it, I guess I would say, on the last 5 games straight. He's had catches in the end zone where he's had to reach in between the defender's hands to catch the ball. Once again, Stevie Howe coming up with an excellent catch in the end zone for a Perry 35-yard pass.
Perry nearing 30 touchdown passes on the season, well over the old school record of 21. High snap, Kick is up and looks good from here. It is, and the Huskies take the early lead as we're just not quite 5 minutes into this one. And it is Emmett 7 and the Vallivue nothing.
It's going to be one of those games. I've just got a feeling already in the first quarter. It's going to be one of those games that we just go back and forth and back and forth.
Well, but we've always jinxed every game we've done this year. We talk it's going to be an offensive game, going to be a defensive game, and at least the first half usually goes exactly against what we call it to be. But you have to think that because of the offense that Vallivue has and the number of points they put up against everybody, that they're going to put some points on this board. I don't think 7, 12, 14, 20 points is going to be enough to win this football game.
Not at all. Huskies have been averaging about 22 points this season. Most of the time more than that.
Yeah, they're averaging about 35 a game,
35.
but 22 is what they've been giving up, and so that gives a little bit of room there. But sometimes those are a little bit misleading. In the Bishop Kelly game, they gave up 43, so you average that out. And a couple of the others, they gave up scores in the fourth quarter on what could have been a much bigger margin. Here comes the kickoff, looking back deep for the Falcons. It's a high end-over-end taken at the 15-yard line. Bringing that up for the Falcons is Austin Belknap, and he's going to go from the 15 all the way out across the 25. Looks like the official wants to put it at the 27-yard line, at least depending on which foot he places it at. He does put it at the marker at the 27. And that's where the Falcons will have their second possession of the ball game. They got their first possession just inside Emmett territory, could go nowhere with it. And they actually had 3 pass plays, I think, in that. 1 run and 3 pass plays, and had to punt it away. So let's see if they go back to that bread and butter running game that has been their strength all year. They give it to Tyson Fox in the backfield. He comes off a tackle to the right side and will pick up about 3 yards, maybe 4 across the 30-yard line. We'll nose that out to the 31, and it'll be second down and it's a
Called
short,
a long 6.
Long 6,
Long
short
6.
7. There you go.
Coach Coffin of the Vallivue Falcons has been obviously watching film because he's definitely trying to attack those edges where BK had so much success last week.
Well, they did with their passing game, but their running game was pretty much inside, and the Huskies kind of recovered for that one. But Fox is not letting them recover too much here. He picks up another 4 yards straight ahead to the 35-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and 3 coming up, or a long 2 for Vallivue. They've got to get it across the 37-yard line, not to the 38, but across the 37. Splitting out to the near side. No, Mayo's actually kind of in a tight end or off the side. Now he's moving into the backfield. He gets the handoff. Mayo wants to drive forward. He does get first down yardage, keeps fighting his way, keeps driving with the piston-like action with his legs, and he gets 10 yards all the way out to the 47-yard line when it looked like he was going to be stopped short of the first down.
Dragged 3 defensive players with him for that 10-yard gain. An absolute bulldog, and that's what they've been using him for. He's the bulldozer to Fox's speed. He just gets in there and runs the ball as hard as he can. And the Hawaiian he's just been an absolute powerhouse this season. Something to look forward to, obviously, for next year.
No, he's a senior among the group,
that's
and
right.
A lot of seniors on this team. 13 Emmett seniors honored tonight on senior night. Hand off to Mayo on the far side again. Starts out, then comes back into the middle of the traffic as he lets the defensive pursuit get past him, and he'll pick up 7-8 yards down into Emmett territory all the way to the 48-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 2 coming up for the Falcons, and this is what we expected from them. Their first series, they came out passing. Now they're going back to that bread and butter, hand it off and grind it out, which is Lane Coffin's style of football, has always been with some of the great players they've had over the years. Pass handoff inside, and I believe that was Mayo.
That was Fox.
It was Fox, and boy, he's going to be close to the first. Looks like he has it. He picks up 2. It'll be to the 41-yard line. We enjoyed watching Lan Larison for a number of years, running out of the quarterback position, but running the football for Vallivue. Larison getting quite a bit of playing time as a sophomore this year at Cal Davis under former Boise State coach Hawkins. And, of course, I'm sure he's probably still rodeoing while he's playing football, or at least in the offseason. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Handoff.
Now, quarterback keeper,
Oh,
it's actually going to get wrapped up way in the backfield.
He was holding on to it, but he wasn't getting anywhere. That was, 42 for the Huskies?
Yeah, I don't have 42 on mine.
I don't either. Not exactly sure.
Not sure who that was.
Looking at positioning, trying to figure that one out, if it might be just a uniform change for Brady Dillon, but I don't believe he's actually playing off the wing. Kind of the rush edge. They'll go to the opposite edge with Fox now. He brings it out near side, and he's met at the 40-yard line. Putting the stop on him is Stevie Howe. Howe will stop him for about a 1-yard gain. That'll bring up 3rd down and 9 for the Falcons at the Emmett 40-yard line. This is just about the spot on the field they got on their first possession and then punted it.
Looking to not make those same mistakes again.
Of course, now you're in 3rd and long.
3rd and long.
They can certainly break off the big run play, but you have to kind of think that the arm of Isaac Moore may come into play on this one. No one in the backfield with Moore, but that doesn't mean someone won't go in motion, and going in motion is Mayo. Mayo gets the handoff. He's going to take it wide to the left, and he's tripped up from behind. Otherwise, it looked like he had some running room out there, and I believe that was number 80,
Christian Sanchez.
Sanchez making the stop out there. So that'll bring up 4th down and 6 for the Falcons, but they are at the Husky 37-yard line, and I get the feeling it's 4-down territory.
I think so, too. And the funny thing about that tackle is Sanchez actually was lined up across from Mayo on this side of the field, ran all the way across the field with Mayo and got him before he could break that 1st down, only getting 3 yards on the run.
Moving with him. Splitting to the near side. Now going back to the right side is Noah Clark. No, he's leaving the field. So they take Clark off. Receivers right and left. Back to pass, firing out into the flat. And the pass is caught on the carom by number 8, Brock Wilson. And he'll have 1st down yardage all the way to the 14-yard line. Huskies had a defender there, but I think he took a whiff at the football trying to get the pick. And instead, Wilson gets a little tip in the air, holds onto it, and he had then space to pick up another 10 or 15 yards. So Huskies burned on the corner.
Stevie Howe saw that possible touchdown. He saw a lot of green ahead of him and thought, you know what, maybe I can get a sneaky 6 out of this. Gamble didn't turn out, and luckily Ryder Scheibe was there to cover him and make sure that didn't go for much farther.
Handoff inside, barreling forward, number 35. That's Sean Gassett, the fullback for the Huskies. He's going to get 8 or 9 yards. Again, just power football right up the middle. And that is, it's kind of like when you're playing against Air Force, even though they use the option. They only throw the ball 3 or 4 times a ball game, it seems like, but they're all for touchdowns from 70 or 80 yards out because no one's expecting them to take it deep.
Well, and that's kind of the philosophy that Vallivue has kind of adapted. They've got this interesting setup where they're not actually running a running back. They have all of their running backs set out like tight ends, and then they put them in motion if they're going to run the ball. This time on the keeper is quarterback Isaac Moore, who sneaks up the middle and ends up getting about 4 on the run. I think that's going to be enough for the 1st down just inside the 5.
Yeah, I think it'll be 1st and goal at the 4. At least that seems to be the indication from the angle that we're looking at.
Yep, that's going to be a 1st down.
So 1st and goal from Vallivue trying to tie this one up. And this first quarter is getting past us, 46 seconds remaining. They have had this ball for 7 minutes.
They have, but it's one of those things that doesn't feel like it's been that long because they've just kept running the ball. So the clock's just been running for 7 minutes straight. Handoff's going to go off the side to Fox. Fox going to barrel in for the touchdown.
Fox takes it in from 4 yards out. So with 30 seconds to go yet here in the first quarter, the Falcons threatening to even this one up on the quick Fox dive. Let's see if the Falcons go for 2 or if they got a kicker coming in. Jackson Kent is there, one of the wide receivers. Quarterback Isaac Moore is still there. Looks like they're going for it. Moore is alone in the backfield, at least for the moment.
Jackson Kent, your wide out to the bottom of your screen. Handoff's going to go to Fox, who's going to get around the corner and beat his defender to the pylon for the 2-point conversion.
That was actually number 8. Was it 10?
That was 10.
It was 10. From my mind, it was looking like an 18. So Fox with the conversion, and we are tied at 7 with 30 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. This Idaho GameStreams production, IdahoSports.com GameStreams production, is brought to you in part by Mountain West Bank, bringing you Treasure Valley Game Night here in the Treasure Valley. Also brought to you by our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. And also brought to you by local sponsors here in Emmett, Hannigan Auto Sales, Mountain West Building Supply, and Gem Supply and Building Co-op. Proud supporters of the Huskies.
Del, I haven't been able to check out much of Vallivue this year. Is that something that's pretty common for them to run for 2, or do you think that was a decisive strategic decision for this game?
Well, when I look at their scores and they're putting up 50, 60, 50, 40, 50, I really haven't honestly looked real close to see if they're running their conversions or whether they're kicking. We honestly have not seen a lot of scary kickers in the league this year. Bishop Kelly has a solid one, and this will be a squib kick. It's in the air. It's fumbled twice. Brendan's going to chase it down at the 15 and fall on it at the 14. And right now the Huskies are not handling the kickoffs very well.
Well, and they're that typical squib kick end-over-end rolling ball that's just so hard to get in your hands if you don't drop it into the breadbasket. So it's one of those things that you really have to take care of it. And when you're at this level in football, you really are more focused on running than catching the ball.
Well, and sometimes that, and then when it's on a kickoff and you're running backwards with the pursuit coming towards you, you have a tendency to keep one eye kind of pinned away from where that football is. Let's see what the Huskies do. 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. Perry with the handoff to Fullerton. No, he fires it out into the flat, and the quick pass is not going to get them anything. In fact, I think losing yardage on that play will be Howe. This is the quick release, and this time the Falcons did not leave him alone with any space to run. Howe's now coming to this side of the field, down at the bottom of the screen. Fullerton, the lone back, and that will be the end of the first quarter. We've completed one full quarter of play here at Emmett. It is Vallivue 7, Emmett 7. Huskies have the ball, 2nd and 10 when we return.
Why spend 15 minutes quoting your insurance with one company? Go to biginsurance.com and let leading insurance companies shop for your insurance. You can even chat with one of our agents standing by, only at biginsurance.com.
Hannigan Auto Sales has been locally owned and operated for over 90 years, and you don't stick around that long unless you treat every customer who walks onto the lot just like family. Hannigan Auto Sales and Service, a full-service dealer that can take care of everything before, during, and after the sale. They have in-house financing, full-service auto detailing, and a repair shop run by the best vehicle experts around. You won't find a better place to buy or service your next used car, truck, or SUV. Hannigan Auto Sales and Service, Washington Avenue in Emmett. Give them a call at 365-5050. Tell Marty that you were at the ball game tonight and you were coming in to get a lube oil and filter this week. It's about time to get ready for lube oil and filter and everything else for winter. Believe it or not, with summer still seeming to linger around us along with some of that wildfire smoke, winter's not that far away. At least the weatherman says it's going to happen sometime this winter.
Well, to say it's going to happen sometime is kind of an obvious statement, but you're right. It's going to be here in the next few weeks. It is getting colder in Idaho, as we all know. Our fall lasts about 5 minutes, so it'll jump from summer to winter real quick.
Well, hopefully you're wrong there, and hopefully it lasts for at least another month. I love the fall in Idaho. Handoff to Fullerton. Looked like he was stopped for a loss back behind the line of scrimmage, but he gets not only across the 15, but out to about the 17-yard line, so we'll call it a pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd down, and we'll call it a pickup of 3, a 3rd down and 8, as they actually marked it when they made the move of the change to be in 2nd and 11. 3rd and 7 it looks like now, and they finally get the marker set up on the far side. See what the Huskies do here with receivers. 2 of them split out on the left side of the lineup. Perry's looking downfield. He's looking over the middle for Loomis. No, he fires it out right off the hands of Brennan. Brennan was absolutely wide open for the first down, and he took his eyes off of that ball and was turning upfield before he had it wrapped up.
That's the second time tonight that Brennan has had a ball hit him in the hands and he dropped it. I think it's possible that BK game is still a little bit in his head, and he's still not quite playing as freely as he has been this season.
That's a big factor because he has the speed to go along with the sticky hands of Stevie Howe to make a pretty good combination. Snap is high. Schreibe has to go get it. He nearly gets a block, but he gets it off. But Vallivue's going to get a nice return out of that, bringing it back as Austin Belknap from about the 42-yard line all the way down to the Emmett 32-yard line. So the Falcons, for the second time in 3 possessions, are going to start in Emmett territory. Now, if you're looking for an omen, the last time they started, they didn't go anywhere. When they started deep in their own territory, they drove for the touchdown. But looking to try to grab a lead here, and the lead dog in this ball game is going to have to be a factor you want to play for, because I don't think either team wants to really play comeback. And Fox breaks a tackle, jumps a tackle, skips through another one. He's inside the 20 all the way down to the 17-yard line. And Tyson Fox is just simply skitter-bugging past Falcons for good yardage and threatening to take the lead.
Yeah, I would actually have to argue that Fox is a very apt name for him. He kind of bounces around like a little fox down there, just squeaking through holes that you wouldn't think he'd be able to fit through.
He's got speed and agility. Quarterback Colley signals. Again, he's going to take it to Fox, who's going to go right up the middle this time. He took a little page out of Fullerton's book as far as patience, waiting for the blockers to kind of give him some space. They give him 5 yards, and he takes every inch of it. So it'll be 2nd down and 5 coming up.
That was actually Mayo on the carry.
Oh, it was Mayo, okay.
So I've started to pick up what they're doing. Fox is always off to the strong side, and Mayo is off to the weak side. And depending on which one goes in motion, kind of telegraphs who's going to get the handoff. I'm very interested to see how that adapts and changes throughout the game. But so far, it's been a very consistent game plan. Once again, Mayo takes the motion, but then hands the ball off underneath to Fox, who scrambles up the middle for about a 3-yard gain.
So a little switch up there, but he's not enough for a first down, but very close. They're going to put it at the 9, it looks like. He has to get to the 8. So 3rd and 1 coming up for Vallivue. Definitely 4-down territory here for the Falcons.
For sure.
Particularly since they didn't take the extra point or kick the extra point. You would think they would keep it on the field.
If they didn't kick the extra point, I highly doubt they have a kicker to shoot from the 20-yard line. So
Isaac Moore comes back from the sideline. Sophomore quarterback shuttles back, talks with the coach, and then brings the play back in. And we're going to have a whistle, and that normally is a offsides or a procedural call against the offense. That is the case. So instead of 3rd down and 1, it'll be 3rd down and 6. Changes the perspective rather dramatically here.
Well, it also changes completely what you're going for play-wise. At 3rd and 1, you're definitely looking at a run play, but now 3rd and 6, they are a running team, and Mayo has had a lot of success on these long 3rd downs, but if you're Coach Coffin, I wonder if you look toward the air for this one.
I kind of think we'll see Fox take it wide one way or the other. Let's see what the call is from Fox to the quarterback, Isaac Moore, who's back in the huddle giving his instructions.
Moore, a very tall quarterback for a high school quarterback.
6'3" sophomore. Mayo gets it on the left side, and he's going to drive forward, will not get first down yardage. In fact, he will not get back to the original line of scrimmage before that penalty. He will get to the 11, and that'll bring up 4th and 2. And I have to say that right now the Vallivue offensive line is firing off because it was 3 yards down the field before anyone in black got a hand on K.O. Mayo.
Christian Sanchez has really started has really started to read Mayo, though. Every time he goes in motion, Sanchez follows him, and once again, Sanchez there on the stop to save that 3rd down from getting that first down, bring up 4th and 4. Once again, do you throw it? And if you do, I honestly, from this distance, I almost say you throw it and take a shot at the end zone.
Well, 4th and 4. at the 13, it appears. Now timeout is being called by Vallivue. They apparently haven't decided what they want to do either. 7:54 to go here in the second quarter. Falcons threatening to take the lead in a 7-7 ball game. Mountain West Building Supply has everything you need for your next project, whether you're a professional contractor or a do-it-yourself home fixer-upper. Lumber, paint, hardware, and more can be found at Mountain West. Located just 2 miles west of Emmett on Highway 52, they have old hickory sheds ready to deliver so you can put all that stuff away before the snow flies. Nice big supply of wood pellets for your wood stove. Get it all stocked away long before that snow flies. Proud supporters of everything Husky Blue, Mountain West Building Supply, 365-7580. And just a moment of personal privilege there. This last week, one of the owners and founders of Mountain West Building Supply, Ed Botkin, passed away. And he was a gentle giant. He was one of the nicest men I think I've ever met. And we are going to very much miss you, Ed. Big play in this football game right now.
Yeah, this is really going to determine who goes into – I mean, this could really determine the whole game in a strange way. You'd think with 7 minutes, 54 seconds left in the second quarter, this wouldn't be that big of a deal. But when you're in this field position and you're looking at a touchdown, you kind of have to walk away with the points against a team like Emmett.
Tight formation. They tried to draw the Huskies offside possibly. Another timeout being taken by Vallivue. So they've used up 2 of them here already in the first half. And it looks like they were just trying to go with the sophomore quarterback, trying to come up with a cadence and pick up the infraction coming across because that would give them a first down. They did not get it. Now do you try to go to delayed count again with the next option?
I don't believe you can. In fact, I think you can only call 2 timeouts in a row without running a play. If I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the rule. So you're not looking at a freeze no play again. Obviously, when you have the opportunity to get those free points, you kind of test the defense, and the Emmett defensive line holding strong and not moving.
They didn't flinch on that particular try. 7:54 to go here in the first half. It's an 8-7 Vallivue lead. I forgot the 2-point conversion, so it's not a tie situation. I was sleeping on that one. Handoff goes to Fox going right. He's going to fire it into the end zone. Wide open and getting the touchdown, I believe, or is he out of bounds? It's a touchdown. Fox with the 11-yard touchdown pass to...
I believe that's number 9. That is Emerson Waldall.
So Waldall gets the pass out of the halfback option. We say that was 9 yards? Or 11 yards.
That was 11 yards, yep. Handoff's going to, it's the keeper, and he's going to try to go up the middle, but going to get stuffed this time by a whole host of Huskies. So, no go on the keeper for Moore.
So that'll make the score 14-7. So the conversion on the first levels out on the second, and Vallivue will be kicking it off here shortly as the Falcons have taken their first lead of this football game. Some folks that this might not be that close a ball game. I anticipated all week, in fact all season, that it would be. Last year I believe it was a 14-13 final right here on this field in cold, no, it was at Vallivue in cold, wet conditions. Wind was blowing. Very defensive ball game. I don't expect this one's going to deteriorate, if you want to call it that, into a defensive game, or certainly not transition to one at this point. We're expecting a whole lot more offense. But with 7:48 to go right now, it is Vallivue 14 and Emmett 7. And the Falcons getting ready to kick off duties. Back deep for Emmett. They've been kind of changing. Against Bishop Kelly last week, they ran about 6 different receivers back into the deep positions.
I believe right now in the backfield is number 14, Daniel Walker. It's not going to go to Walker, though. It's going to go to the far side to Stevie Howe.
Stevie Howe picks it up. It's a short kick taken at the 30. He'll get it back to about the 40-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 39, so the Huskies with not too bad a field position to start their third possession of the
third possession of the ball game. Yep.
Nope, fourth possession.
Oh, that's right. They had 2 and outs.
Yep.
Or 4 and outs.
The first and the third. This will be their fourth possession because they got the opening kickoff, and that's why they need to get some points on here before halftime because Vallivue will get the ball to start second half. Handoff ahead to Fullerton. He's in lots of traffic, trying to get right up through the middle of the line, and he gets a couple of yards and no more.
He's going to get absolutely stuffed by Cannon Hyde right up the middle. The offensive line of the Huskies has been stellar all year long, and one thing that's kind of been a key to this offensive line is they're not particularly big, but they've been so well conditioned throughout the years that as the game goes on, third, fourth quarter comes up, they get bigger and bigger pushes. So keep an eye out on that, but right now they're just not getting anything done.
Well, we thought that could be a factor in this game because they have quite a few more players dressed up for the game. But Vallivue, the one spot where they do not go both ways, and another pass drop, this one by Howe. Crossing pattern for first down yardage at midfield, and it just goes right through his hands. And right now, the crispness of the passing attack that the Huskies have had most of the season was not there in the first half of the last home game here against Columbia, and then it woke up and took form. But it has not been there now for about 6 quarters. And we're looking to see if that changes here, or they may be in trouble as far as having another home game this season. Perry rolls out. Now he's going to fire downfield, and it's going to be intercepted, I believe. It was telegraphed and taken at the 20-yard line. That was grabbed by number 5. That is Oscar Malacara. And he takes it away. Isaac Brennan had to play defense as Malacara was in the perfect position. And a turnover for the Huskies. And right now on senior night, they're struggling offensively.
And just as you said, they had this same struggle against Columbia at home 2 weeks ago. The problem is you're not facing a Columbia, you're facing Vallivue, this what many consider to be the second best team in this conference.
Well, they're certainly they're fighting for that opportunity here tonight. That will be decided. Who is the second team from this conference that gets a home berth? 2 teams from this conference, 2 teams from District 6, 2 teams from District 4, 1 team from District 1 and 2, and 1 team from District 5 make up the 8 automatic berths into the playoffs, which means they're at home, and then they'll be seeded by the Max Preps rankings. Right now, the Huskies would be seeded 5th. They are 6th in the seedings, but they would be 5th because of the way that if they were to win this game and win next week. But a lot of things can happen in the Max Prep Sports rankings. They go by the strength of your opponent, where the game is, if it's at home or where it's on the road. Last week, the Huskies got beat pretty solidly by Bishop Kelly, and yet they improved their Max Prep rating considerably. So it's almost impossible to predict. You just got to go out on the field and win some ball games, and right now they're in trouble, but at least defensively only gave up a couple of yards on that first effort from Vallivue.
Moore takes a snap, hands off to Fox, who takes it on the outside. He's going to get a little bit of a gap, get about 5 yards on the carry to bring up third and about 3.
Yep, leans it out across the 27-yard line. He'll have to get it to the 30. So third down coming up. And every third down is a big down for the Huskies to try to get some stops here.
This is a big one. Obviously, you don't want to be down 7 points going into this half, and with 5 minutes, 45 seconds left, the clock continuously running, because once again, this Vallivue team likes to run the ball, and every time you run, the clock keeps going.
They use up 40 seconds just about between every snap.
Huskies looking for a stop here.
3rd and 3. Handoff again to Fox. He's got first down yardage and then some as he breaks outside the 30, the 35 to the 39-yard line. He kind of got to where he needed to for the line to gain and then busted out for another 10. And big movement for the Falcons in their running game. The Huskies dropping back, needing to get a stop here.
Huskies changing out the entire defensive line and a couple linebackers, just trying to get some fresh feet out there because this is starting to wear down this defense, and that's not something you want to see with 5 minutes left in the first half.
Hand off to Fox, and we'll have to take this all over again 5 yards deeper. Somebody wasn't set before the snap.
I think that's going to be a false start on the Falcons, so it'll take the ball back about 5 yards.
Now back to the 34. It'll be first down, remain first down, however, first down and 15. And that has not been a big factor for Valley View on its last couple of possessions. 14-7, Valley View leads. We're inside 5 minutes here in the first half. And remember, the Falcons will get the possession to start the second half.
Huskies needing a stop here. It's going to be a double handoff once again, handed off to Mayo and then back underneath to Fox, who's actually only going to get back to the original line of scrimmage, so only about a 3 to 4 yard carry there.
Yeah, we'll give him 4, bring up, they'll give it 3 because they're going to be about 2nd and 12, it appears, from where they're placing it at the 37. They have to get it all the way out to the 49-yard line. And this is where the Huskies want a big stop because they want some decent field position. If you keep backing yourself up, then you're going to have that much further to have to go on the offensive side. Ball is fumbled by the quarterback, and he actually does a smart thing there. Instead of trying to pick it up, he just falls on it. I know he lost 13 yards on the play, but that could have been a disaster if Emmett had been able to climb on top of that football inside the 25-yard line.
Now, if I'm Hargett, it's third down and about 25. Do you call timeout here to save that clock, or do you let it run? Looks like he's going to let the clock run. We're down to about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, probably by the time we get the snap off, 3:20. So clock is starting to become an issue here in the first half for the Huskies. They got to get back on the scoreboard. You do not want to go into half down 7 with the Falcons getting the ball to start the second half. Moore going to take the snap. He's going to walk back, and he's going to keep it, looking to air it out. He throws it deep. That's number 1. He just overthrows his receiver. On the reception was Jackson Kent, but just leads him a little bit too far and throws that out of bounds, and that'll bring up 4th and 25. And, Dell, you've got to think they're punting it here.
I would think you would be punting. So far, their defense have stood very solidly against the Huskies, and as the clock is becoming less and less of an opponent of the Falcons and rather an ally, yeah. They're going to go with that. And they are at least in punt formation this time.
Loomis and Howe back to receive. The ball's going to be a nice high punt. It's going to be short, so it looks like they're going to stay away, and it's actually going to go out of bounds right about midfield.
Yeah, I think they're going to mark it all the way down to the 42 of Emmett. Oh, no, he's going to walk back, so we'll see where they mark it. You had it about as close as I did, 46, 47.
If you split the difference between the two of us, sometimes we can get the call right.
Yeah, it's kind of like when your bifocals aren't quite adjusted together.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that. I'm not that old.
Yeah. Let's not go there. 3:09 to go here in the first half. Valley View leading Emmett 14-7. Perry in at quarterback. In the shotgun formation. He's got an empty backfield right now. Now going in motion is
21. That's Isaac Brennan.
And Brennan will dive forward. He'll turn on the burners and get about 4 yards.
They're actually going to, it looks like they're going to give him about 5. They marked it, they gave him the extra length. So
all the way to the 48, so we'll count it a 2nd and 5. Brennan is in the slot to the top of your screen. Fullerton is now in the backfield along with the quarterback, Perry. High snap. They'll hand it to Perry, and Harry's going to be stopped for a loss. And again, that defensive line for Valley View is just getting great penetration, and they were there. Who knows if the snap had not been so high, they might have had a better execution of the handoff, but I don't think so. I mean, that Valley View defensive line was 2 yards into the backfield before the handoff was made. So it'll be 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Huskies at midfield. Perry rolls to the left, now fires it back to the left to Fullerton. Fullerton's going to get first down yardage as he takes it outside, then cuts back in on the beyond the far hash mark. And with 2:15 to go, the Huskies will have it 1st and 10 at the Valley View 42.
Huskies have been having success running it outside the tackles, but you're right. Right now, the difference is big on big. The Valley View line is just winning that battle up front. Perry with the snap. It's a low snap, but he does get his hands on it. He's going to sweep out to the right, and then looks like he's going to throw it downfield, and he gets it
to Michael Walker at the 15-yard line. It was a little bit of a soft floater out there, and I thought Fox might step in front of it, but Fox was too far forward, and it went over his head right into the hands of Walker for the 1st and 10 at the 15. So the Huskies, for the second time tonight, into the red zone. with 1:45 remaining here in the first half.
They're going to hand off right away to Rye Fullerton. It looks like I thought they were going to spike it, but it looks like they're going to give it to Fullerton, who's going to charge ahead for about a 4-yard run.
And now the Huskies will take a timeout. They've got all 3 of them, I think they had, so they've got 2 left. They're going to take a timeout. It'll be a second down and about 7 at the 11 or 12-yard line. They're going to put it right at the 12, it appears. So they still got a ways to go for the first down and the potential equalizer here, which that's the least what they want. Now, we watched the game over at Baker against Lake City, where the Huskies scored with about a minute and a half to go to get closer in that ball game. In fact, they ended up, I think, went with a 2-point conversion and got a 1-point lead. Lake City then went, well, they decided they wanted to try to air it out. They had 3 incomplete passes, and the Huskies then come back with a Hail Mary to the end zone. So they scored twice in the last 150 of the first half. They scored on the opening possession of the second half, and that game was over.
Well, it's something we've talked about a lot this season, the 4-and-4 rule. It's that last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half really determine the kind of the whole energy of the game, the whole momentum.
Handoff to Fullerton. He's now he finds a little bit of a hole, and he dives forward. He'll get down inside the 8, maybe to the 7. I think he's going to be a yard shy of first down yardage. So it'll be second down, and the clock continues to run with 1:21 to go. Huskies needing to, I think that's one of those things where they want to get in the end zone before halftime, but they also don't want to leave a lot of time up there.
Right. You never want to leave your opponent 10 seconds left that they can throw a deep bomb down the field and just make magic happen. So definitely playing that clock. We got 1 minute left as the snap is taken by Perry. Perry's going to get rushed in the backfield. He's going to throw it out deep, and it's going to be Stevie Howe with the touchdown catch on the far side of the field.
Howe from 8 yards out gets his second grab of the night.
That'll make it 13-14 with 56 seconds left in the first half, and the extra point team is on the field.
In to put the toe to this one for the Huskies, number 35, that is Tucker Welling.
Tucker Welling actually didn't start the season with the Husky football team. He was actually on the soccer team, I believe, and decided to join after the first couple of games and has just been an absolute solid kicker this entire year since then. That extra point goes up and in as well to tie the game up at 14.
He equalized it with 56 seconds remaining here in the first half. We are 14-14, and that now leaves all kinds of intrigue. What do you do with 56 seconds? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Gem Supply and Building Co-op in Emmett is the helpful place for all your building and hardware needs. They offer friendly, knowledgeable, personal service, quality products, and a convenient shopping experience from their local experts, the experts who know you best. Visit them at 402 North Washington Avenue in Emmett. Open 7 days a week. Gem Supply and Building Co-op wants to wish the Husky boys the best luck in the game tonight. Lori and the gang go Huskies, they say. Well, 56 seconds to go. That play and that catch, a little bit more reminiscent of what we've been watching at times this year.
It does bring up the question, though. We talked about this before the touchdown. Now you've left 56 seconds on the clock for Vallivue. Now, Vallivue is more of a run team, so it's less likely they're going to try to air it out, but it's never outside the question. And they have shown so far in this game to have those explosive plays that get them 20, 30 yards. So definitely a danger, but if you're Emmett, you definitely don't want to just, slow down the game to burn more clock. You want to get the points and kick the ball deep and make them try to drive on you.
Or do you go for the onside and take the risk of giving the ball near midfield with that much time left? Let's see. Buck is doing the kicking. He gets it over the top of his intended, going back and picking it up at the 6-yard line is number 5, Oscar Malakara. And Malakara is going to be stopped at about the 12. So the Falcons will be deep. I believe Emmett has 2 timeouts to use.
So Vallivue has 1 timeout left, and Emmett has 2, with 51 seconds left in the first half.
I'm not sure if 2 is enough to be able to get the ball back.
I think at this point you're not trying to get the ball back. You're just going for a stop. Vallivue has shown that they can be dangerous and they can drive the field. So if you're Emmett, you just really got to put up that rock-solid wall and not let them take advantage of this extra time that you've given them.
Perhaps not get too aggressive trying to get a turnover here deep in that territory,
right,
and whiff on that tackle. And speaking of that, outside goes Mayo. Mayo has a blocker. He's got first down yardage across the 25. The ball is stripped away, and Emmett has come up with it at the 28-yard line.
So Mayo, trying to stay strong and grind out an extra few yards, gets the ball stripped, and now Emmett all of a sudden has the ball inside the Falcon 28-yard line, and with 40 seconds left, you got to think they're going to go for the end zone again.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt you're going for the end zone here. You're in their territory. You've got a bit of a passing game, and what a momentum swing this could be if they could, because their offense had looked kind of lethargic until that last drive.
We already brought up the Lake City game before. This is getting reminiscent of that.
Perry fires it. It's intercepted. He was looking all the way to his receiver, looking too much to Stevie Howe, and everybody in white knew it, including the man standing in front of him. And you turn it back over, and that will take all that momentum away. And now does Vallivue just take a quick knee and say, let's get out of here? We've got a tie game. We've got the football to start the second half.
I don't know. I think you've been gifted back another 32 seconds. I think you do exactly what you were going to do before you fumbled the ball. You take a strike downfield and you keep running the ball. That's kind of what they've been doing, and they will burn their last timeout.
Emmett's calling the timeout, I believe.
Oh, it is. Emmett is. So it'll be one timeout left for both of these teams.
Right. So really it's a matter of whether this first play creates a change of field position to where Vallivue really wants to go for something, or do they let it run out? Because if they would have the option, if Emmett does not take a timeout, to run out the clock here, if they so should desire. And that, of course, is up to Coach Lane Coffin to determine, what kind of a chess game he's playing right now. Coffin and Hargett are very good friends, have humongous respect for each other. They talk each other up, to the point where you think both of them are a little bit the baloney merchant, but they do have that kind of respect for each other, even though they have very different styles of coaching and very different styles of offenses, certainly.
No, I don't even know what I would call this Falcon offensive formation. It's kind of this double wing TI formation. It's going to be the handoff to Mayo. He's going to hand it back off to Fox underneath. They love that double option reverse.
We watched this in their freshman and junior varsity teams as well, where they often are making that decision of that late handoff right at the line of scrimmage, which is a risky position to be doing it if you don't have a clean handoff. But they've been very good at executing it.
They've been very clean. 5 seconds left on the clock. The clock is running, and it looks like they're just going to run out the half. So that will be halftime with a tied 14-14 game here at Emmett Stadium out here by the Domes.
Boy, it has been a crazy first half. Not exactly what we were expecting in some ways, and yet very much what we were expecting in others. So we'll have to see if anyone can actually grab this game by the horns in the second half. But here at halftime, it is Vallivue 14, Emmett 14.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
We are back at Tony Villanueva Field at Husky Stadium. Down on the field, you can't see it. You're looking at the scoreboard. We've got a bunch of the youth football program kids coming out to be honored here tonight. The Optimus program here in Emmett, and the junior high programs all have had great years again this year, and getting a little bit of play here at halftime at senior night. At halftime, it is 14-14. The Huskies and the Falcons all tied up, and statistically, it actually kind of lays out where we thought it would be statistically. Over 100 yards rushing in the first half for the Falcons. Mike Leclambe with the Idaho Statesman providing us some official statistics. Mayo, 7 of carries for 54 yards. Fox, 12 carries for 63. Fox, though, also 1 for 1 passing for a touchdown. Big factor rolling out to come up with that one. For Dakota Perry and the Huskies, he's 6 of 11. For 80 yards and 2 touchdowns to Stevie Howe, but he's also thrown a couple of picks. Both of them were in Vallivue territory, so they didn't give up points as a result of them, but they didn't gain points as a result of losing the possession on either of those, including in the last few seconds of that first half.
Right. In fact, we've had no points come from any turnovers, even though Vallivue also fumbled the ball once. So no points have come from any mistakes so far, which is what you want to see as a coach. You don't want to give them the ball and then give them points. So far, so good. But something we need to talk about is Perry throwing 2 interceptions. That matches his total for the season so far, doubling it to go from 2 to 4. So coming into this game, had only thrown 2 interceptions, and now is at 4. Not something particular for Perry.
No, he was looking, and part of that reason is last week against Bishop Kelly, he had a tendency to be throwing the ball a little bit overthrown and a little bit long. And tonight he's been a little bit short of his receivers, and Vallivue has been playing to that side of the ball. If he'd been able to air it out and get it over the top, he might have had some big pickups, which was what we saw earlier in the year. So we'll see if that wrinkle kind of gets worked out here in the second half. But the Falcons will not be able to set back and waste their first possession, because Vallivue will be getting the kickoff to start the second half. So they'll get the first opportunity to try to regain a lead here that they lost there in the last minute of the first half. If you joined us late, Emmett scored first on a 26-yard pass play from Perry to Howe. That was just 5 minutes into the ball game. They went up 7-0. But then a 4-yard run by Tyson Fox, and then Fox ran in the 2-point conversion, made it 8-7. With just seconds remaining in the first quarter. Then Vallivue came right back, and they had Fox again, this time going in from 11 yards out. They failed on the 2-point conversion, made it 14-7, and then it was Howe from Perry with 56 seconds remaining in the first half in the left quarter of the end zone. The extra point kick was also good by Welling, and we are now tied at 14-14. Of those turnovers, 2 of the 3 of them took place in that on back-to-back plays after the touchdown score. So there was great possibilities for both teams to have a disaster, and essentially they both survived.
Yeah, it kind of came up moot. They both had turnovers. They both had that bonus play, as I like to call it, where you have a minute left in the half, and you kind of don't have to worry about consequences. Turns out you really don't have to worry about consequences, because they gave the ball over, and then the Huskies gave it right back. So one of those things that you just have to worry about. Now, we talked about this before the half, the 4-and-4 rule, where the most important minutes of the game tend to be the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. It really sets the tone for the rest of the game. Obviously, we've got a tied ball game here, so this first 4 minutes is going to be crucial to kind of determining the pace of the rest of this game. And with Vallivue getting the ball back, I don't know. I think maybe they take some deep shots and start to really try to pick up the pace in this game. We've had a very grindy back and forth, run, random passes thrown in here and there, but it's been a very grind-out game for these two teams.
It'll be interesting to see. It's a big first 4 minutes for the Husky defense, because their offense was able to score in those last 4 minutes of the first half to even this one up. And they don't want to give up that gain. They would love to be able to do a 3-and-out and get that ball back into their offense's hands and see if they can kind of build on some momentum. They started kind of building on that last possession or two of the first half. But all the marbles are out here tonight. I mean, there's no question about it. In the Southern Idaho Conference, the Bishop Kelly Knights are going to be the conference champions. They have wins over both Vallivue and Emmett. So the best either of these two teams can do is finish one game behind them, or if somehow Bishop Kelly falls to Skyview, or I think Ridgeview's in their last ball game, if they were to lose one of those, they still have the tiebreaker with the other teams with one loss. Now, if some strike of lightning and they lost 2 games here the last 2 weeks, which
that's not happening.
I can't imagine
that's
it.
not happening.
But should that be? I mean, right now they have believers all over the state. They're not unanimous first place choices for either the coaches or the media. There's one straggler in each still picking Skyline, the 2-time defending champion. But on the other side right now, most people are starting to believe this Bishop Kelly Knight team is legit. One of the best, I think, that Coach Tim Brendan's had in the last several years. And they have great balance. They don't make mistakes. They've got 40 seniors. They got a lot of opportunities to use depth, and they're gonna be a tough out. And that's why both of these teams need the win here tonight, because you want to be one of the home teams in that first round draw, and not have to face a Bishop Kelly or Skyline early in the playoffs draw. And the other thing that's kind of funny in looking at some of the standings and some of the projections, these two teams could face off against each other in 2 weeks in the first round of the playoffs. If Vallivue wins at Vallivue, if not, it could be back here again, which would be similar to what happened to Emmett last year. They finally got a win against Nampa, and then Nampa came back over here and beat them in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, and that's not something you want for either of these teams. Both of these teams really want to define the win right here, and then both want to pick up a win next week to hopefully negate the possibility of that happening. But something we need to address is that these really are the best 3 teams in the Southern Idaho Conference. Let's just be frank. The Bishop Kelly Knights, the Emmett Huskies, and the Vallivue Falcons have been the top 3 dogs, and this is exactly what I would expect from 2 of the top 3 teams to be tied at 14 at half. I'm not disappointed at all, and I have a very big suspicion that score is going to change here pretty rapidly.
Well, and then maybe more rapidly than we saw at the pace of the first half. That certainly is a possibility. This ball game this evening brought to you on IdahoSports.com GameStreams by Mountain West Bank, our Treasure Valley game night sponsors. Also by major advertising sponsors for IdahoSports.com, Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. And, of course, our local sponsors here tonight, Gem Supply and Building Co-op in Emmett, Hannigan Auto Sales, and Mountain West Building Supply, all helping to make these broadcasts possible and to make them free to you on IdahoSports.com. A little bit later tonight, we're going to have an opportunity to name a player of the game. There's certainly plenty of candidates sort of making a nomination for themselves, but not a definitive move as of yet. And that honor will be coming to you, brought to you by the Idaho Transportation Department at the end of this evening's game. Just about ready to go. Falcons are out on the field getting ready to tee this one up.
Well, actually,
are the Huskies.
The Huskies, there you go.
And the Falcons are on the far side, gathered, and now they've got their instructions and ready to head back out. And let's see who can strike first to try to bend the momentum. Old Mo has been kind of slow tonight.
It has been. It's been one of those really, and we talked about it before, it's been a very grindy game, and for 2 very explosive offenses, it's not something we really expected. Once again, the old adage, every time you expect something to happen, it goes the exact opposite. So that's kind of what we're running into tonight. But at the same time, 14-14, that's nothing to scoff at.
Sam Buck tees it up for the Huskies, 3 men back for the Falcons. He gets a boot on this one. It'll be taken up at the 32-yard line, and basically a fair catch grab there by number 15 for the Falcons. That was Well, I don't have a 15.
I have no idea.
Nope. It might have been 5 Oscar Malacara.
Could have been. It also could have been a JV player swinging up. That always happens on the special teams. So not something too out of the ordinary. But something we need to talk about is this 1-2 punch that we've been getting from the two running backs here in Mayo and Fox from the Falcons. They've kind of had this beautiful back and forth where they have two completely different styles, and what it's kind of doing is creating options for their offense. And that's something that Emmett so far has been very one-dimensional in their running game, with Rye Fullerton taking all of the snaps. Handoff this time is going to go to Mayo. As we said before, he's going to take it on the outside and pick up about 3 to 4 yards on the carry.
He gets around there. That'll be Fullerton among those making the stop on the far side. Both of these teams play a lot of their skill players, their backfields, both ways. The Falcons have completely separate lines, offensively and defensively. Now, I'm sure that some of them will cross over at times in relieving each other, but as far as starters are concerned, Falcons a little deeper on the line, and they have been dominant on the line tonight. Pitch goes back to Fox. He's chased back to the 30. He actually dives forward to get past the 30 into the up near the 35 where Stevie Howe makes the final stop.
In fact, he's actually going to lose 2 yards on that run to bring up 3rd and 7. So
place him at the 33-yard line. So 3rd and long coming up. As we said, huge first possession of the game for both of these teams in trying to establish who's going to have some momentum to work with here in the second half.
Hargett trying to get the fans fired up for this defense. Handoff is going to be fake to Mayo. He's going to drop back, throws the ball, but it gets batted at the line of scrimmage by Christian Sanchez.
Sanchez was ready to eat his lunch on the quarterback. Instead, he just shoved it off and actually pretty good in pulling up and not trying to crunch the quarterback after he finally released the ball.
Yeah. Great heads-up play, and good job getting his hands up. That's something you always hear on the defensive line is get your hands up when they go to throw the ball. He does that, gets a piece of it, and it results in an incomplete to bring up 4th and 7. It looks like we got the punting team out in the field.
And we also have the two returners we saw earlier this season in Loomis and Brennan back deep. The kick is going to take a rugby bounce taken by Loomis at the 30. He jukes his way to the 40. He'll be brought down at the 41-yard line. Joe Loomis missed the game earlier this season with a high ankle sprain, but has been back working himself into it. Maybe we'll see a little bit more variety in the running game for the Huskies now than what we saw in the first half.
Well, Loomis was, at the beginning of the season, was one of those key backs that would share the load with Rye Fullerton. Since his injury, hasn't been running as much, but has been occasionally getting in for a couple handoffs here and there per game. Perry in the backfield with Fullerton right next to him.
Handoff goes to Fullerton with Brennan blocking for him. Fullerton breaks it outside to the 50. He's inside the 45 where he'll be wrestled down and dropped at about the 43. That was Mayo that made the tackle, but it's enough for another first down for Emmett. And the Huskies love this first possession of the second half. They like to try to do something with it. They did this against Bishop Kelly last week and thought they might be getting back into the game, but they just could not stop that Bishop Kelly offense. Howe goes into motion out to the right side, or the top of the screen, if you're watching at home. Perry gets the snap, handoff again to Fullerton, finds a hole to the left. He breaks the tackle at the 35, down to the 31, another 10, 12, 13-yard pickup for Fullerton. So he's starting to add up some yardage and get back toward where he's been over the century mark in all but one game this season.
Well, that's something we just had talked about, the big-on-big battle. All of a sudden, this Emmett Husky offensive line is starting to get a little bit of a push and starting to develop those holes. And Fullerton, being the patient back he is reading it quite well and getting through those holes.
Perry with a handoff again to Fullerton. Again, starts right, comes back left. It looks like he was buried at the 30, burrows his way down to the 26-yard line.
Dragging 3 defenders with him.
So that's a 7-yard gain for Fullerton. Good 6, let's call it. You just keep waiting. When you keep punching, it's kind of like a boxing match. After so many of those shots to the stomach, when do they take it up with the roundhouse over the top? Let's see if Perry's looking for that here. He's got two receivers split to his right. Hand off to Fullerton. We'll just keep with what brought us here. Fullerton will be very close to first down yardage. He's inside the 25 down to the 23.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess it's kind of the strategy here.
And he has enough for another first down. So Fullerton with 3 consecutive first downs with 4 rushes. And
all of a sudden, Fullerton has kind of come alive and taken over the game. Something that we've been kind of waiting for this whole game. And all of a sudden, Emmett has put together a very cohesive drive. They've kind of...
Well, it starts there on that front line because they are getting some push right now that they weren't getting in the first half. Snap is high. Fullerton has the ball, and we're going to have a flag thrown.
It's going to be a face mask on the defensive player. Grabbed Fullerton's head as he tried to get around him. Grabbed him by the face mask. So that's going to be a personal foul face mask.
It'll be inside the 30, so it'll be only half the distance if it is the personal foul variety. It wasn't just a
we had laundry coming from.
It wasn't the 5-yarder. It came from a lot of different directions, and Perry was right there in the mix too. We weren't sure exactly who was going to be dancing with it, but it is a penalty against Vallivue, and the Huskies will have the ball down at the Vallivue 13-yard line now with 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter, trying to see if they can regain a lead that they only had for a short time in the first quarter.
Loomis to the bottom of your screen, Howe to your top.
Hand off to Fullerton. He finds a hole. He's down inside the 10.
Fullerton once again getting the handoff, and I think this is kind of a statement coming from Coach Hargett. He has found his workhorse, and he's going to work him into the ground. And honestly, that's sometimes the best way to break a defensive line is just grind it at him and say, hey, we're going to keep running at you. Stop us.
Then on the next possession, do you mix in something else? Because we have not seen a pass on this entire drive.
No, Perry's been
silent. In fact, we've seen nobody but Fullerton.
Handoff once again to Fullerton. It looked like it was going to be a keeper, but Fullerton's going to barrel forward, and he's going to gain another 5 yards after what looked like a broken play in the backfield.
And another first down. It'll be first and goal for the Huskies inside, just inside the 5-yard line.
It's actually going to be second and goal, it looks like.
Oh, were we already at the first down on the last run?
They got the first down on the last run, yep.
The sticks were still up on the far side, so I was confused. Not that that's rare.
Well, when you're old and senile, it kind of happens.
Okay, just back off, Junior. Perry counting signals. Second down and goal at the 4. Perry's going to just dive forward himself, and he'll get a couple of yards. Did not get much of a line surge there. Actually, they're going to have him all the way down to the 2, it looks like.
Yeah, he kind of jumped. The line kind of fell forward, and he kind of jumped on their backs and kind of rode over the top to get that extra.
Well, he's a California kid. He was doing a little body surfing there. So third down and goal at about the 2-yard line for Emmett.
Tightly packed again. The pitch is going to go to Fullerton on the outside. Fullerton being calm as always. Sneaks back inside, reaches out for the goal line, but is going to be stopped.
They got turned. He got turned just a little bit at the last minute. That was number 9 that was able to get Fullerton going north-south instead of east-west. And that is Emerson Waldo.
We do have laundry on the field, and it's going to be at the 1-yard line, which is where the tackle was made. Usually that's an indication of...
That's against the Huskies, and they're going to take it, and it's a 10-yard, probably a hold of some type.
That's what I would have to guess. The white hat didn't quite give us a good indication, but...
So it's still third down. It was going to be 4th and 1. Now it is third down and 11.
Well, and it brings up the question. Now you're giving the chance back to Perry to try to make something happen. I almost think maybe I would have declined that penalty, but the handoff's going to be on a speed sweep to Stevie Howe, who's going to go on the outside and is just going to get back to about the 6-yard line, it looks like, where they're going to mark him.
Yeah, 6 or 7, so it'll be 4th down and goal for the Huskies.
The 6. And it looks like the kicker is coming on the field.
Are they going to go for the...
No,
I don't believe so.
No, never mind.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So Brennan comes in.
third down and goal from about the 7-yard line. A fourth down and goal from about the 7-yard line. 5:35 to go. This is a huge play for both of these teams. What a victory for Vallivue after having to run down their throats on this entire possession. 7 minutes run off the clock.
15. Dakota Perry once again back to take a snap. He rolls out to his left. He's going to take a fire downfield, but it's going to be batted down by number 55 for the Falcons. That looks like that's going to be Jaden Gomez with the bat. So
Huge.
It's going to come up with a turnover on downs inside their own 10-yard line.
Huge defensive stand for the Falcons there. Kind of a sidearm delivery was the intent for Perry there, and you can't fire that with 3 defenders in your face. They really had set up what could have been a pretty good screen, but he couldn't get the ball up over the top, and the defense knocks it down, and Vallivue takes over at their own 7-yard line.
Gomez absolutely fired up as he gets that block, runs off the field, rips his helmet off, and is now firing up the fans. That's not something you want to see if you're the Emmett Huskies. You don't want to give them that feedback. Fox with the run. He's going to take it right, but then cut back left up the middle for about a 5-yard gain on the play to bring up second and 5.
Most of that gain after the cutback. He started with the flow of his team to the right, and then just saw that the defense was kind of over pursuing and went back to the left. And we're going to give him, we'll give him 5. Second down and 5 at about the 12-yard line, it looks like.
Handoff this time going to go to Mayo, who's going to take it right up the gut and is going to stumble forward for about 3 yards to bring up third and second. Once again, that 1-2 punch between Fox and Mayo going back and forth, and it's just something that you just never quite get used to, especially as a defensive lineman who's trying to pursue the play. You kind of have to switch in your brain, whether you're chasing a speedster or whether you're trying to go man on the big guy.
Well, and you don't really know who has the ball because it's not like they telegraph their pitches, their moves. I mean, it's very tight in the way they do their handoff in the backfield. And the handoff again goes there to Fox, and he's going to get outside, and he's going to be close to the first down. I think he has it.
They're going to mark it just enough to get that first down. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line, and that's something we need to talk about. They got the turnover on downs, but it was inside their own 10, so they're going to have to put together a hell of a drive in order to get into the end zone.
Yeah, 4 minutes to go here, tied 14 all, and they have run off a couple of long drives in the ball game, using up a lot of clock, which is what they'd love to do here. And they're going to get first down yardage? No, but they're going to get good yardage on the play by Mayo. He'll get out to the 25-yard line. It'll be second down and about 3 coming up for the Falcons. They're still essentially deep in their own territory, but certainly out of the shadows of the goalposts where they took possession of this one.
Getting out of the red zone was key. So now the drive is going. They're moving a little bit. They got a long ways to go. As you said, about 3 minutes, 15 seconds left in this third quarter. Double handoff, first to Mayo, then to Fox. Fox is going to stumble up the middle and is only going to get about 2 on the carry before he's stuffed by a whole host of Huskies.
Well, he'll be short of first down, but it'll be third and very short yardage, maybe 1.5 yards coming up for the Falcons. Not really in 4-down territory here, but if you get close enough, you might be.
Well, and yeah, especially this deep in your own territory. If you're anything longer than a 4th and 2, I don't know if you consider the run. You maybe just punt it away. But
well, it's third down, and they can decide this right here. And at first, we've got a flag coming in. I'm not sure what the whistle's going to be. One of the Vallivue players is indicating it's a penalty against the Falcons. And yet it was at a spot where you often see an offensive hold. The quarterback was pushed back defensively, and we're going to have a face mask, a 15-yard penalty against Emmett. So the Huskies hurting themselves with the penalty. Their freshman team did that last night against Vallivue, had 2 consecutives that gave them about 45 yards, and the Vallivue freshmen picked up the victory here against Emmett. Both those teams have had great seasons. A lot of young players in both of these programs right now. So the Huskies kind of on their heels here. They're still in in Vallivue territory defending, but the Falcons have it at the 43 instead of where they started at the 7. Outside to Mayo. He's going to break a tackle, and he's going to be dropped. Catching up with him as he gets past one defender.
That's Christian Sanchez once again chasing Mayo down. He's kind of been Mayo's shadow all game long, just following him all over the field. The problem is when you have your defensive end from the far side of the field chasing the running back all the way across, you're going to get 10-yard gains, and that's just what we saw right there. A nice, solid 12-yard
But that could
gain.
have easily been a 50-yard score there by Mayo
yeah.
as Sanchez. Sanchez stands about 6'4" and about 215, and Mayo is about 5'9"?
5'9", 211, I believe.
Something like that. Handoff comes to the near side to Fox. He takes the corner. He'll get 4 or 5 yards inside the Husky 40-yard line or right to the 40-yard line. So the Falcons driving on this possession. They went 3 and out on their first. Emmett then took the possession and drove down the field but could not get it in. They had it 3rd and goal at the 1, then had a penalty that set them back. They've added to a penalty here now, personal foul that helped Vallivue stretch out and keep this possession moving. And the clock continues to roll. We have 1:06 remaining in the 3rd quarter. This is only the 3rd possession total of the second half, the second by Vallivue.
And the first from Vallivue was
second
a 4 and
handoff
out.
again to Mayo. Again, they put it in Fox's breadbasket, and he hands it straight off. It looks more like a relay play in track rather than a football play, but it's enough for a first down all the way to the 35-yard line, and the Falcons continue the march.
This is the Emmett Huskies got to stop the bleeding here. If you keep letting this happen, it's going to get out of hand. One thing that you have to keep in mind, though, is Mayo, as you said, they're running that double option, so you really have to be very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very defensive on those ends. You can't let them get outside of you. Once again, the handoff's going to go to Fox, who's actually going to take it inside and going to get swarmed after about a 5-yard gain by a whole bunch of Huskies.
I keep looking to see whether we'll have a watch for Fox if he's rolling out to see if he comes up with another halfback pass. He had a beautiful pass on the touchdown play in the first half.
And that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. So at the end of 3, we're still tied 14-14.
Huskies and the Falcons. Who's going to be home in 2 weeks? We'll decide that in the final 12 minutes here.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We are back at Tony Villanueva Field at Husky Stadium here at Emmett in a 14-14 football game. We thought maybe the offenses would start exploding in the 3rd quarter. They have been working up and down the field, but they have not been able to find pay dirt, and we're right where we were at halftime. But it is Vallivue that's driving right now as we get underway with the final 12 minutes of regulation football here. They have it 2nd down and 6 at the Emmett 31. This drive started back at their own 7-yard line as a penalty helped push Emmett away from the goal line, and they could not get the conversion on 4th down.
So far, one thing that we have to say about this Husky defense is they have been swarming to the ball. The problem is they're swarming to the ball 5-10 yards downfield, and they're just allowing a little bit too much space for this Vallivue offense. Now,
part of it's all the pursuit. They get the pursuit going which direction, and in Vallivue, that their whole offensive scheme is designed to run against that pursuit. Getting tight formation for the Falcons. I don't think we've seen anyone split out maybe once or twice the entire ball game. Pitch goes outside to Mayo. Mayo's going to get to the 25-yard line, enough for the first down to the 24. And right now, they've got some tired defensive backs on the opposite side of the field, and Vallivue's just stretching the field, running north and south, and picking up 4 or 5 yards on the what you would call a sweep, but not really. Don't have the blockers out there or anything, just the running back kind of on his own.
I think I'd call that a speed sweep, where you're not really just pulling the line. You're just letting your receivers kind of sprint and try to outrun the defensive backs. Something that we've kind of run into is this double option. Because it is so quick in that backfield with the handoffs, they don't have to pull their line as
Fox keeps
much.
it this time, and he's got space to run on the right. He's out to the 20, and a great open field tackle by Stevie Howe. Looked like Fox might be able to take it to the end zone. He's cut down with about a 6-yard gain to the 18-yard line. Yes, that's where they're going to put it. It'll be the 18. It'll be 2nd down and 4 coming up for the Falcons. And this, I don't know what, this drive has been about 7-8 minutes already, I believe, by the Falcons.
And it's not going to stop anytime soon. 2nd and 4 now for the Falcons. They're looking to drive again. Once again, their signature tight formation. Hand off to Fox again, who's going to try to beat him on the outside.
He's got it on the outside.
Got it.
Yep.
Eventually forced out of bounds by number 5. That's Kalen Conklin. But not until after the first down was achieved. So it's going to be first and not goal. It's going to be first and 10 from about the 11-yard line, and it's going to be a timeout from Vallivue.
So Vallivue wants to talk about this. They have certainly had an impressive drive in this possession, and they want to make sure that they don't bog down as Emmett did on their last possession when they were able to get it to the 1 but could not get any points out of it.
So looks like that
Hannigan Auto Sales, locally owned and operated for nearly 100 years. And you know you don't stick around that long unless you treat everybody that walks through your front door just like family. Hannigan Auto Sales and Service, a full-service dealer that can take care of everything before, during, and after the sale. In-house financing, full-service auto detailing, and a retail repair shop run by the best vehicle experts around. You won't find a better place to buy or service your next used car, truck, or SUV than Hannigan Auto Sales and Service on Washington Avenue in Emmett. Give Marty and the guys a call at 365-5050. 10:34. A lot of time on the clock, but the way these two teams have controlled the possessions, there's not a lot of different opportunities you're going to have to score. If Vallivue can punch this one in, the Huskies will almost be forced to score in response or see a long night get away from them. Fox going to take it around the end of the end zone, but I think it's coming back as we have a flag at about the 15. An illegal block sprung Fox. He had great speed to get around that corner, but it will come back. It will not be an 11-yard touchdown. It will now be 1st down, and let's see what the march-off is.
Should be about a 10-yard penalty from the place of the hold.
Which would have been behind the line of scrimmage, I believe. It was. It's 10 marched off from the 15, so it'll place it at the 25, and they have to get to the 2 for a 1st down. So about a 1st and 23 coming up for the Falcons.
This is Emmett's chance. They got to get the stop here if they want to keep Falcons out of the end zone. It's going to be a handoff to Mayo, who's going to try to speed sweep around the end, but is going to get absolutely completely wrapped up. Once again, Christian Sanchez being his shadow, chasing him down, and they're going to get a stop, and it's going to be for no gain. So 2nd and 22 still to come.
Watching a defensive end chase a back like that is
from the far side of the field
every
too.
time.
Every time.
Because Mayo is always in motion in one direction or the other. So 2nd down and about 23 yards to go for the Falcons. It was a penalty that stymied the Huskies' drive on their last possession. Let's see if Vallivue can overcome it here. Quarterback's rolling out the pass, and he cannot drop. He was chased, and that was Sanchez, and then we have a very late flag.
And I think it's going to be unnecessary roughness on the defense.
On Sanchez, and I didn't see the contact because he was behind him and must have given him a push, but he nearly brought him down for the sack. In fact, I thought he had a hold of him.
He reached out and got a hand on it, but he couldn't quite get a full grip on it. And luckily,
And that is the call, personal foul against the Huskies. So a penalty is going to give the Falcons, and being a personal foul, it gives them a first down, I believe, all over again. So from the 25, they're going to go half the distance. They will not be back to the original line of scrimmage quite. Well, that's exactly where they marched them to, surprisingly.
It's going to be right at the line of scrimmage, the original. So it'll be 1st and 10 once again from
at the 12.
We'll say the 13.
Okay. So penalties, again, those kind of mistakes just costly tonight for the Huskies. Fox gets the handout, goes right, comes back inside. He's diving for the end zone. He's going to be short of the end zone, but he gets inside the 5. It'll be 2nd and very short. And that penalty, where the Huskies looked like they had finally given themselves a little bit of breathing room, that's evaporated, and they are in danger of losing this tie with 9:19 to go. We're almost 9 minutes on this possession for the Falcons.
And it's been a very strange possession at that. We've been back and forth with penalties and run games. It's just been all over the place. Now we've leapfrogged back to the 5-yard line. Looks like we're going to have a false start now from the Falcons, which will take us back to the 10 at this point?
Yeah, well, instead of 2nd and 2 from the 5, it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 10. But it does stop the clock. In fact, I think the only thing that stopped the clock in this second half has been flags.
We had one timeout, but yeah.
Yeah. Because we haven't had incomplete passes for much.
It's a double handoff once again to Fox, who's going to take it up the middle
for the touchdown. Straight up the middle. Fox will take it in from 10 yards out. His second running touchdown. He has a passing touchdown. Right now, Tyson Fox making a bid to try to be our IdahoSports.com player of the game with the 10-yard run. Biggest thing is it gives the Falcons the lead back. They have had the upper hand most of this ball game. Emmett scored first, but Vallivue countered on the next play, and Emmett has never been able to take the lead back. They've tied it, but not take the top. Let's see. Vallivue ran for it last time. They're going to run for it again with Fox, and he's not going to make it. He's going to be stopped short. He tried to stretch it out on the run, so all of a sudden we have a 6-point ball game. It's Vallivue 20 and Emmett 14 with 8:44 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Gem Supply and Building Co-op in Emmett, the helpful place for all your building and hardware needs. They offer friendly, knowledgeable, personal service, quality products, and a convenient shopping experience from local experts who know you best and can help you with that project that you're not quite sure what you need to do with. Visit them at 402 North Washington Avenue in Emmett. They're open 7 days a week. Gem Supply and Co-op, supporters of the Emmett Huskies. And right now, Lori and the gang got to be on the sidelines down here yelling for the Huskies to come back in this one. Like I said, home court or home field advantage in 2 weeks in the playoff is at stake right now. And currently, it looks like the Falcons have at least put a bid in on having that opportunity with a 20-14 edge. But that 1 point difference.
That not getting that extra point conversion really might come back to bite them. Huskies, it's going to be Joe Loomis with the return, who's going to take it from about the 20. He's got a big gap up the middle. It's going to make it all the way down to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Loomis just kind of cruised his way into the 41-yard line. So the Huskies with decent field position again. Their last drive started about the 40, and they got it all the way to the 1, but they couldn't get it punched in. They've got to complete it.
If I'm Hargett, I'm looking at that last drive and seeing what the problem was is they just didn't finish the drive. But Rye Fullerton had a fantastic drive all the way up until then. You've got 8 minutes and 39 seconds left on the clock. I don't know, if I'm the Huskies, I might run it out.
Well, Perry's going to come out firing. He fires it out to the near side. That is to Brennan, and Brennan breaks the tackle to 45. He's into Falcon territory. He'll be wrestled out of bounds at about the 42, so a 17-yard pickup on the Perry to Brennan hookup. And we really haven't seen the Huskies coming out firing on first downs. That certainly worked in that capacity.
Perry's been very quiet this game. In fact, he's thrown 2 interceptions, and that's been about it other than the 1 passing touchdown?
2 passing touchdowns to Howe, but he's had 3 passes that were wide open that were dropped. He's going to fire it out into the hands of Michael Walker, and Walker will be taken out of bounds at about the 35, so about an 8-yard pickup. Fish on the far side's rolling his arms saying roll that clock. So he just called him dead on the play and not going out of bounds. It looked like he was still standing.
I definitely think he ran out of bounds. That was a strange call, but not sure what that was. But anyways, we're back to take the snap as Perry, handoff to Fullerton. Fullerton takes it just inside the right side tackle, is going to barrel forward for like a 7-yard gain to bring it down all the way down to the Falcons' 27-yard line.
27 yards, so a 10-yard pickup again for Fullerton. And the Huskies with a little bit more quick attack here. And this is one of those, it's like score and get the lead, but then can you stop that Falcon slow drive?
It's that old adage, do you leave too much time on the clock for your opponent?
Well, or leave enough that you can make another shot at this, but they've got to get it in the end zone first before they can talk about that. Hand off to Fullerton, he is met. Great penetration off the line.
That's number 22. That looks like that is...
22 is...
Don't have a 22.
We don't have a 22. Okay.
Well, interesting.
I would anticipate that it was probably 20 Alfredo Hernandez, defensive end, who steps in there.
That
23. I'll have to watch and see if there's already a 23 out there. So it's 2nd down and 10. And let's see, did the Falcons draw
the
did. Huskies, or did the Huskies draw the Falcons offside?
They are going to call it encroachment on the defense, so that's going to be a 5-yard penalty to bring up 2nd and short.
Well, it'll be 2nd and 5 at about the 22. 6 minutes and the clock is still running.
And
now we're going to give it back
from the Emmett Huskies, so it's going to get marched right back, and we'll go back to the 2nd and 10.
Husky guard on the left side, Sam Schroeder, just rocked forward and lost his balance. So it'll be back to 2nd and 10. And the clock is still running. I thought we stopped the clock when there's a penalty.
They stop it until the ball gets set. So they stopped it, the ball got set, and then they restarted.
Yeah, I don't think on the last 2 it's ever stopped. I think it's just kept rolling.
I hope not.
We'll have to watch it. But Perry back to pass. He's being chased out of the pocket, looking downfield, and he's going to take a loss all the way back to the 35-yard line. And right now, the Falcons are coming up with big plays when they need them to stymie the Falcon. It seems like Emmett gets a little momentum going, and all of a sudden, they're just getting swallowed on some of their own plays. That's a loss of about 7 yards, and it'll be 3rd down and 17 coming up for the Huskies at the Falcon 33-yard line.
This is the play. This is the moment. They have to convert on this play.
Or at least get some good yardage so that 4th is convertible, but they haven't had any success on 4th downs tonight. They got to do it here on 3rd. Perry chased, looking downfield. He's firing it out into the middle of the field to Loomis inside the 5. He pulls it down at the 3. Loomis got behind the defenders, found the seam of the Huskies, have it 1st and goal with 5:34 to go.
Perry with a great check down was looking for his first option, second option, finally finds Loomis on the far side of the field, throws it back across his body while running right, which is not easy, and finds Loomis just in a pocket of space between 3 defenders for the 1st down.
Hand off to Fullerton, and he's going to take it into the end zone for the touchdown.
And
it'll be a 4-yard touchdown run for Fullerton.
And you can already see Hargett's got his hands up. They're going for 2.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. Well, you can get the lead with a kick, but go for 2?
Oh, nope. Okay, now
they're
they are
kick
kicking
it.
now.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, we've already tied it at 20. Can we get the lead back for the first time since the first quarter? That's Welling in there to do the honors as Perry squats down to hold.
Welling's been perfect so far this game.
Snap is down, kick is up, looks good from where we stand.
And
it is. And the Huskies have regained the lead with 5:16 to go. They lead it 21-20 over the Vallivue Falcons. And boy, is this next possession huge.
It's massive. The Huskies have got to get a stop. So far, they've had a really hard time dealing with this running game from Vallivue. And Vallivue, as you said, has been running a lot, so they're going to run that clock down. You got 5 minutes and 16 seconds left. The last drive from Vallivue took 10 minutes off the clock, so you can't have that again. You got to make a stop if you're the Huskies.
Well, if the Huskies can pin them deep, they can give them a 10-minute drive.
That is true. 10 minutes would be okay at that point.
Yeah, you can give them a 10-minute drive with 5:16 to go. Mountain West Building Supply has everything you need for your next project. Whether you're a professional contractor or a do-it-yourself home fixer-upper, lumber, paint, hardware, and more can be found at Mountain West. Located just 2 miles west of Emmett on Highway 52, they've got old hickory sheds ready to deliver so you can put away all your stuff before the snow flies. And check out all of their wood pellets ready to stock you up for the winter. Proud supporters of everything Husky Blue, Mountain West Building Supply, 365-7580. And the kick will be taken at the 13-yard line, up the far side to the 30, and across the 35, so a decent return for the Falcons. I believe that was was that 8 Brock Wilson or 9 Emerson Waldall?
I think that's 9 Emerson Waldall.
So Vallivue will have decent field position. They've got plenty of time on the clock, relatively speaking. We say that because their ground pound game takes up a lot of time on the ground.
Well,
but they can also burst through and beat you with a biggie.
Well, and it brings up an interesting contradiction. If they do take the time, we haven't seen them to have a kicking game. So a field goal, I don't know if that's even an option for this team. And being down 1 point, a field goal could have won them the game.
Could be. Handoff goes inside second man. That'll be Fox driving forward. He'll be stopped for about a 2-3 yard gain. Again, that quarterback gives it to one running back. One running back gives it off to the other. It's, if you were in a card game, you'd wonder who's dealing from the bottom of the deck.
It's got very much that sleight of hand play going on, and I have got to give it to this defensive line. They've played absolutely exceptionally, even though they're having to deal with trying to decide who of 4 different players has the ball. Once again, the handoff goes under to Fox, who's going to stumble forward just on the outside of that tackle for about a 3-yard carry.
Yeah. He's going to give him 5 out to the 41, so it'll be 3rd down and about 4 coming up, it looks like. He has to get to the 45-yard line, the Falcons do. And with 4:19 to go, you have to feel that everything's 4-down territory here the rest of the way.
At this point, the rest of the game is 4-down territory. You use everything you got. Handoff once again to Fox, who's going to stumble up the field. He's got some space and is actually going to get driven down on the outside by, I believe that's 21. That's Isaac Brennan.
Isaac Brennan with the stop, and it looked like for a minute Fox might possibly actually break away on the right side until Brennan came up and stopped him. But it was plenty of yardage to pick up the 1st down. So 1st and 10 Vallivue at the 47-yard line, their own 47.
3 minutes, 50 seconds left in the half, or in the game, sorry. Handoff goes to Mayo, who rumbles up the middle for a 5-yard carry.
The Huskies were trying to pursue, waiting for Fox to go one side or the other, and Mayo comes right up the middle for a 5-yard pickup. They are now in Husky territory. The clock down to 3 minutes and 32 seconds. Vallivue has all 3 of their timeouts remaining here in the second half. Keep that in mind. Handoff to Fox. No, that'll be Mayo, and Mayo will not get to the 1st down marker. He gets a couple of yards near the 45-yard line, and then he's turned north and wrestled down on the far side. So it'll be at the 45. They need 2 more, so 3rd and 2 coming up for the Falcons. Again, just pushing that pile and running off those options off the tackles.
Defense needing a stop here. Handoff once again to Fox, who's going to bounce it outside, and he's going to have 1st down yardage, just barely, but he will get that 1st down.
It looked like he might have had contact about 2 yards be short right at the line of scrimmage, but he wrestled through that. Then it looked like he might break it big and then was stopped. So another 1st down. The clock continues
Well, it'll stop.
will start now.
Yeah. It'll stop for the moving of the chains. So.
Yeah, 2:48 to go here in the game. Vallivue at the Emmett 42-yard line. Last year was a tight one at Caldwell. Low-scoring game in terrible weather. Tonight, gorgeous weather. And being stopped in the backfield by Mayo. He's brought down by
Christian Sanchez once again gets him in the backfield and holds him up just long enough for his defensive backs to come up and help him out to finish it off. But once again, Christian Sanchez having a game of his life.
Brady Dillon with the final stop for the 4-yard loss back to the 46-yard line. The clock nearing the 2-minute mark.
Sanchez has been Mayo's nightmare all night long. Let's see if he can continue it.
Now if someone could be Fox's nightmare. The quarterback's rolling out the pass, fires it out into the flat. We're going to have a flag coming or we're not? We're not.
It's going to be an incomplete, batted down by number 21, Isaac Brennan.
So Brennan coming over and knocking that one away. I wasn't sure because it looked like there was little contact there, but the pass I don't think was catchable. It was out in front and short.
Well, and I believe Brennan got a finger on the ball as well, and as long as you're touching the ball as a defender, you can have that body contact.
Well, it's third down.
Third down and 13. If they ever wanted a chance to stop them, this is the moment. 1:54 left in this game. Defense needing a stop right here.
And you can hear that from the home crowd here on the near side shouting defense. Trying to get some pressure on that quarterback. He's going to air it out. He's way downfield and way overthrown. Vallivue trying to get a flag called from the far side, but that was 5 yards beyond.
Yeah.
And the Emmett defender actually fell down behind.
Yeah. Brennan with the coverage got beat actually a little bit, tripped and fell, but luckily that ball was about 10 yards over his head.
That'll bring up fourth down here. We have 1:48 to go. What can you say? This is
the game. This is the game.
This could easily be the football game one way or the other. And the Falcon defense and the crowd on the near side raising up and trying to get into this one. They want this one to end right here. There's still seconds and minutes to go, but not many. 3 receivers split to the left. They bring Fox back to the near side. Fox, rolling out. The quarterback to the right. He's rolling out of the pocket. And he's going to be sacked
again with the sack.
Sanchez with the sack at the 50. We may have a defensive player as our player of the game.
We might. Sanchez with the absolute play of the game right there, taking the sack for a 4-yard loss to give Emmett the ball at the 50-yard line with 1:41 left in the game.
You just don't expect to see that out of a defensive end playing so far out across the field.
He's been absolutely
huge
shut
sack.
down this game.
He's had 2 of them on the last 4 plays that have just been huge that has turned this. Now the Huskies have to hold on to the ball, but they can't waste it.
No.
They've got to make some first downs. They've got to execute because there's still 3 timeouts on that board for Vallivue. Hand off to Fullerton. Picks his way through. He's into the 45, down to the 43. You just look out there, you say, well, he's totally covered. No, he's just keep walking his way forward. And
Rye Fullerton doing what he always does, dragging defenders with him. That's going to be a 7-yard pickup to bring up 2nd and 3. Now,
Vallivue did call one of their timeouts.
They did call one timeout, so they've got 2 left with 1:32 left in the game. So Emmett's got to get one more first down to pretty much put the game away.
Yeah. They can get another first down. They'll have an opportunity to simply run this one out and get another nail-biter against the Falcons. I want to say it was 14-12 or something like that last year over in Caldwell. It was a brutal game at the end of the season in a game that was the final game of the year.
And the difference here is coming down to that extra point that the Falcons didn't convert
Well, they
on.
went for 2.
Yeah.
And weren't able to get it. Twice they went for 2. Once they were successful. And
actually, no, they went for 2 on every
touchdown. Yeah.
So they were only successful once time.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They were once successful, but twice failed. And the Huskies just simply kicked 3 single extra points. Again, the handoff to Fullerton. He's got first down yardage inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. And again, a quick timeout by Vallivue.
And actually, I think I was incorrect. I think they do have to get another first down because with only one timeout left, one timeout left, 3 downs, the game's over.
Yeah, as long as if you nail at 125 and high school is what, 35?
It's a 35-second play
35.
Clock. So they can stop the clock
70.
one more time. I think the game's over.
Yeah. They stop it one more time. I think we're about 3-5 seconds, maybe 3 to 4 seconds on that fourth down, but it would be tight. Yeah, but one more big play would ice this one, and what a heartbreaker for the Falcons in many ways. And I really hope this doesn't happen, but some of the pairings show these two teams playing again in 2 weeks in the opening round of the playoffs.
Oh, and what an opening round that would be.
Yeah, and it would be back here if Emmett holds on for the win. But they're not ready to start taking a knee, I can't believe.
No, they're going to hand it off one more time. Hand off to Fullerton. Fullerton's going to break forward, and he's going to be down to the 20-yard line, an almost 18-yard pickup for Fullerton.
And Vallivue saying the ball was fumbled, but the officials are not indicating that's the case.
No, they're going to call him down. So
a foul, Fullerton's down. And with 1:17 to go, I believe the Huskies can make 3 knees.
It'll be 3 knees. There's the final timeout for the Falcons. So
with 1:14 to go, the Huskies, I think, can take 3 knees with 30, 90. Yeah, we should be able to do that. But I don't know. Sometimes I think just keep executing, hand off the ball, run safely. But again, if there was a near fumble there,
you don't want to risk
you don't
that.
want to turn that around. Well, looks like the Huskies have maybe pulled this one out, and you have to give the defense, which had a struggle all night, stopping Vallivue's long drives, but they came up big, and we've got our defensive player of the game, or our player of the game, and we're going to have to. We'll talk about it, and we'll bring it back to you when we're done with the ball game. But I think we may have a little bit of a unique one for seems like mostly the offensive players get all the credit.
Well, and it's about time a big guy got some love. As a former big guy down on that offensive and defensive line, I can definitely make the case for Christian Sanchez, who's had an absolute banger of a game.
Yeah, wouldn't you have loved to have been able to pursue like he does?
Oh, I'm not that fast.
No, he's gotten stronger the last couple of the ball games. He really struggles. He has a metal ACL, we say, because he wears a brace on a damaged ACL, and yet he's still able to move around like that. And there is the last knee taken by Dakota Perry with 32 seconds to go, and the clock will run out. And the Vallivue Falcons and the Emmett Huskies, they put it all on the line here tonight. In what a defensive battle in some ways, and yet a very patient offensive battle as well. At times not pretty, but a big defensive play, a couple of big defensive plays in the closing minutes of the ball game gives the ball back to the Huskies to run out the clock after they were able to finally grab a lead at 21-20. Our final here, Emmett 21, Vallivue 20. We'll be back in a few minutes to recap this ball game and present our Idaho Transportation Department, IdahoSports.com player of the game.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Well, we knew this was going to be a shootout, but we thought it was going to be an offensive shootout with points in the 20s. Instead, it was long offensive drives, but great defensive stands that made the difference in this one. And finally, it was an Emmett defensive stand near midfield as Vallivue was driving to try to regain a lead that held up for a 21-20 victory over the Vallivue Falcons, and clinching the Huskies' second seed, the automatic berth from District 3 into the state playoffs, meaning that they will be a home team in the first round in 2 weeks, right back here at Tony Villanueva Field at Husky Stadium. So a valiant effort, not what we were expecting. We thought we'd have a lot more fireworks, but when you look at the stats, a lot of stats, but big defensive plays that stopped it from being a score fest.
Yeah, and something we need to bring up is that it wasn't an air it out game that we thought. Perry, almost silent for this game, did get the 2 touchdowns to start the game, but ultimately it was Rye Fullerton who got the last touchdown of the game, but not really much from him. He threw 2 interceptions, which doubled his record for the year, but overall a fantastic game from both sides. Rye Fullerton obviously got to talk about rushing for over 200 yards this game. A great run for him. And also have to talk about the Vallivue running backs.
Yep.
Both Fox and Mayo had fantastic runs. It's a cool little looking offense with that double option. But once again, if we're talking about the IdahoSports.com player of the game presented by
Idaho Transportation. Project Shift.
We really got to give it to only one player, and it's the first time ever, I believe, on our broadcast that a defensive player and a defensive lineman at that gets player of the game. Christian Sanchez with an absolute banger of a game. He was able to chase down Mayo several times, chasing him all the way across from the other side of the field. Ended up with 6 tackles for losses as well as 2 sacks, including the final sack that really sealed the deal in the game.
In fact, it looked like that Vallivue was going to move into position and a chance to regain the lead. Now, we give Perry also credit for a strike that he threw to Joe Loomis that set up the go-ahead touchdown. It was a completion to the 4-yard line, and then Fullerton punched it in. And the Huskies make all 3 of their extra points. Give credit to Mr. Welling for that. And that's the difference in this. They win it 21-20 in a tight battle with Vallivue. Fullerton well over 100 yards rushing again tonight because he really was a power on the last 2 drives in controlling that. But it was a strong effort. Again, you just felt like it wasn't what you were expecting. It wasn't quite as wide open as you thought it would be. We didn't see a lot of the big, not really big plays broke out, but some power. And a lot of this game was decided in the trenches. In the first half, Vallivue's offensive line was just pushing Emmett around, it seemed like. Second half, it was Emmett that was kind of dominating on the line, particularly on its opening drive. So give credit to the guys down in the ditch, folks, because they really made this we used to call it a snobber knocker or slobber knocker, and that's exactly what it was. Very physical. Both these teams will have games next week that mean little or nothing as far as the playoffs concerned. Emmett will be at Ridgeview. Ridgeview is not likely at this point, unless they've pulled an upset tonight, likely to be in the picture for a playoff spot. That game will be in Nampa next Friday night. Vallivue is adding a game on their schedule. I believe it will be home at Vallivue against either Boise or CUNA. The 5A actually SIC starts their cross-division playoffs next week, but some of the teams at the bottom of the standings don't get to participate in it. So Vallivue's got an open date. They want to pick up that 9th game, and they're going to play either Boise or CUNA. Yeah. 2 weeks from now, who knows?
As you said, it doesn't have much. It doesn't really cause much of a problem for either of these teams when it comes to the playoffs. The only thing it does do is it could elevate their placements in where they end up placing when it comes to
reducing them.
Or reducing them.
If they have a poor performance next week in either capacity. This was a great performance. Like I said, I've seen a couple of matchings that have Vallivue in the 6th seed, Emmett in the 6th seed with Vallivue coming here in the first round of the playoffs. I know that most fans would like to see someone from somewhere else, and who knows how that's going to play out, because there's a lot of big games going on tonight and more next week, particularly in eastern Idaho, yet to decide who's going to be making those automatic berths. Last week, it looks like Sandpoint pretty much clinched the berth from North Idaho, which puts Lakeland as an at-large team rather than automatic. Blackfoot, which beat Emmett to start the season but has lost 4 straight games by very narrow margins, 2 of those the 5A teams, still ranked above. In fact, they're ranked number 4 in the Max Preps rankings with a 3-4 season record. But they have the ability, but they cannot win their conference and most likely can't get second place, so they're going to be a wild card team. So you do not want to be number 8, 7, or 8, because you're looking at facing probably a 7-2 Lakeland team and a dangerous Blackfoot team. And anyway, but that's just all conjecture. It's all points. It's all confused until we finish next week. And so next week it'll be the Vallivue Falcons, I believe, at home against either Boise or CUNA, and the Huskies will finish their regular season just up over the hill and up at Ridgeview High School next Friday night at 7. So it's been a wild night. We thought it could be a tough game. I'm not, like I said, the script didn't play out like any of the visions I had, but it certainly played out for the Huskies to advance to a home berth in the first round of the playoffs. This has been an IdahoSports.com GameStream production of Treasure Valley Game Night, presented by Mountain West Bank. Brought to you by our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. And brought to you by local sponsors, Hannigan Auto Sales, Mountain West Building Supply, and Gem Supply Building Co-op. Special thanks to Athletic Director Ashley Holt and everyone here at Emmett High School for their hospitality, helping to get this game broadcast to you. Congratulations again to our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game, Defensive Player of the Game, big tackles, Christian Sanchez of the Emmett Huskies. Thanks again for joining us as Vallivue is been defeated by the Emmett Huskies, 21-20. What a game. From our broadcast partner, Chandler Gray, and everyone else behind the scenes here at IdahoSports.com, I'm Del Gray saying so long until next time. And we will see you at the next kickoff.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-Wide Country Store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.